Good morning, welcome. I know you have many choices and I appreciate that you've chosen to spend the hour with me. My name is Kui Tai Neil, otherwise known as Dr. Kui Tai, and today I'd like to share with you my experience about working with trance. Now, I know all of us who are trained hypnotherapists, we have been trained to induce formal trance. I call it formal trance, where you take the individual through what I call a brain cycle, slow down the brain, calm down all your chattering monkeys, and then technically, if I hook an EEG up to you, you will see that right now, at this moment, most of us are existing in about 14 to 32 cycles per second in our brain activity. Technically, trance is when we slow down brain activity and get it down to about 7 to 14 cycles per second. So what is alpha stage? What is hypnosis? If people ask you what is hypnosis, what would you say? Hypnosis is a state of consciousness whereby your brain activity is slowed to between 7 to 14 cycles per second. During that brainwave, during that state of consciousness, we are more open to suggestions, and during that time, we are able to shut out a lot of extraneous activity. We don't do complicated computations, we don't do analysis, we don't do evaluations. We are just in a state of being sort of in a dream. Hypnosis is a state of consciousness. Right now, before you are in trance, some of you may already be in trance with me. 14 to 32 cycles per second, most of us call it a state of beta consciousness. At any given time until you're dead, death is by definition zero brain activity, yes? Okay, anything beyond zero, we are always in a state of consciousness. Now, if we hook ourselves up to any measuring instrument, we'll be able to show that we are in a variety of consciousness at any given time. You will be able to see alpha waves. You'll be able to be in theta, delta, and what have you, until you're dead. So we're always in a state of consciousness. For the most part, most of us in hypnosis, working in hypnosis, we get a client to a state where the brain activity exists anywhere in the range of 7 to 14 cycles per second. At this time, it is sort of like you tell your clients, hypnosis is a state of it's a natural state of consciousness, meaning that I don't have to stick a pin in you and I don't have to give you any chemicals. It's natural. Everyone can experience it. Everyone experiences it minimum twice a day. When are those times? Just before you fall asleep, just before you wake up. We're in a state of trance. How many of you work with children? Well, children are in a perpetual state of trance, isn't it? They're always in alpha consciousness. That's why a child will remember, Mommy, you promised me you were going to take me to the fair last week, and now you've changed your mind. They know exactly precisely when, where, because why? They recorded it in their subconscious, and believe me, they will remember for the rest of their lives. When they're 45 years old, they'll come back and say, Daddy, you broke that promise. How do they know that? Because it's embedded in their subconscious. Now, what is cool about our work is most of us process our stuff in our conscious brain. But the subconscious part of us is there all the time recording. Now, why is it that People can be in conventional cognitive behavior therapy or what have you, all kinds of cognitive behavior training for years, and it doesn't get anywhere. Now here's something that we will tell our clients. What we have is something absolutely unique. It seems magical. It's not magic. It's magical. It's not magic. It's magical because most people can't imagine that we can achieve these amazing results in the short time. Right? I don't need to spend 5 years to figure out why you hate your daddy. I don't even need to know why. You come in, key questions I will ask you is, what don't you like about your life? How would you like your life to be? Let's go to work right here, right now. You can't afford the time and the money to pay me to process the last 65 years why your life didn't work for you. Isn't it easy to put it in the toilet and just flush? Everybody said, put in the toilet. Go ahead. Put all your past in the toilet and flush. Clean water comes out. Is it magic? Is it magic or is it magical? That is just about what we do. And it is incomprehensible to people who need to substantiate and do the whys and what fors. So I'm preaching to the choir right now. You know that we do amazingly, exceptionally effective work efficiently. You want me to say that again? Right? We are effective. That means it works. And we are efficient. Somebody came round to my table a little bit earlier and asked me about the Qigong work I do and said, what if I don't believe? I said, if you believe it, it works. If you don't believe it, look at me, it works. Does hypnosis work? If you believe me, it works. If you don't believe me, it still works.
Well, it wasn't needed.
I know, it wasn't. I know, he thinks, why is she picking on me? It's your lucky day, sir. I'm picking on you. All right, now, all of you in the room and our audience out there, you've been through conventional hypnosis training, yes? How many of you have not been trained to do hypnosis? Okay. And what do they teach you? Right? Induction. And I see many people at different conferences rushing to learning one more technique, learning one more tool. Do you have those dingle-dangle things? Do you have those googly eye things? Do you have what other things? You know, I had to actually go look to buy me one of those, what do you call those watches, right? Because once a client asked me, are you going to use the watch to daggle in front of me? I said, no. Then I went to Walmart and I spent $9.95 and bought one so that I would have one. I said, I can do that too. If that is what floats your boat, I can accommodate. Now what I have learned is this. My first encounter with open eye trance is I was working with a client, and this was a residential client. Unlike other people's practices, I do work with a client one case at a time. 20 hours, I'm done, you're gone. If you're not interested in 20 hours of work, go see somebody else. Because I'm interested in teaching you first, using hypnotherapy to get into your subconscious and help you dig up all the stuff you don't want to hold, clean that up. Then I have to teach you effective communication skills. Notice that I'm very precise with the words I use. Your thoughts become your words, become your actions, become your habits, become your character, determines your destiny. So it starts from the thought, and then it has to translate to precision in language. So I would continue to teach the client after the first long hypnosis session. So I was working with this client who was residential. Well, one of the things I wanted her to do was a media fast. No TV, no radio, no iPods. So she came down the stairs and she was holding her iPod. I said, give it to me. I said, what do you think you're doing? I said, give it. Now here's a woman when she's on duty at the hospital. She runs a staff of 1,000 people in a big hospital. Every night she makes decisions that determine somebody's life and death issues. And all of a sudden, she abreacted. She looked at me and she said, "No!" Like a defiant little girl. And suddenly I thought, oh my goodness, what did you do with my client and who are you? It's as if, well, she went in trance, eyes open. Then I learned. So I said, okay, I slowly guided her in the chair and we started doing work. As I was teaching in Malaysia last year, I was working with one of my students doing a demo. Again, immediately he abreacted. Interestingly, as an adult, he spoke perfect English. All of a sudden, he's 6 years old. And now I have to teach class in Chinese. And he spoke Mandarin, and my Mandarin was a little bit elementary, to say the least. Then I have to have translation, and I work in Cantonese through him, and all of a sudden, wow. So now we are doing work, trance language, open eyes. So I realized that when we work with energy, it transcends language. When we work with our subconscious, it transcends culture, language, gender. We're now working in a totally different virtual reality. Okay, so now I come back to the notion of induction, right? We talk about handshake, wham! You've done that, you've seen that, I can do that. And it's very dramatic. First time I learned it from Mr. Gilboyne. My partner was 6'4". I looked at him, I go, nah, I'm not gonna do that. You know how you do that? You shake the guy's hand and you go, sleep! And this guy plop on my body. And I go, wow, this stuff is really cool. Then there's the almond handshake and so on, so on, so on. If you understand what trance is, it's nothing more than mono-ideation, meaning that you get the client to focus on only whatever is in front of you. It's to stay in the moment, what I call T0. It's to stay in the moment, listen only to the sound of my voice. And if the person is willing to trust you and engage, you don't have to do all the bells and whistles and the dingle-dangle things. They're already in trance with you. So one day I was working with a client in my office and 6 hours had gone by and she goes, oh my God, when are you going to hypnotize me? So I said, what do you think we've been doing for the last 6 hours? How do you feel now? How do you feel about the issue that we've been addressing for the last 6 hours? And all of a sudden she goes, wow, I feel better already. When you're working with someone, when you're engaging, what is the most important piece of that relationship between you and client? What is critical? Trust. If you get the person to trust you, then 95% of your work is done. The minute they walk in my door, they're already in trance. The minute you walk into this room with me, you are already in trance with me. If I hook you up to computers, we'll see your waves. You'll all be in mostly alpha waves. Because I'm speaking to your subconscious. Therefore, you walk in the door. Your entire office ambience is part of the induction. This is part of the induction. The chair you're sitting in my office is part of the induction. If you use sense, if you use music, I don't use music because music is a dangerous thing to use, in that unless you have written it and the client has no experience of it, if you put on a piece of music, it can cause the client to abreact and go to places that you're not ready to work on. Or I like to set a neutral palette, neutral in that I don't want to provide a lot of other sensory things other than a very peaceful and safe environment for the client to be in. So when the client sits down in your office, the client must feel safe. Safety first, middle, and last. Safety first, middle, and last, because it promotes trust. Client must trust you implicitly. If the client walks away and says, I didn't feel I was hypnotized, all right? There are no bad clients, only very poor practitioners, right? Because you have to find the right way to communicate. So the surrounding is very important. Then as you put the client at ease, they're already in trance with you. You don't need to do all the dingle-dangle things. And they don't even need to close their eyes. So as I talk to them and process with them, a couple very key things is, number one, you've got your trust. What's the next most important thing that is inducing trance without doing all the dingle-dangle things? Safety. Third, that is the trust, yes. Keeping them engaged, thank you. The trance state it is very important to keep them in the moment, keep them engaged. So your tone of voice must be such that they can identify with. They come to you instead of you because there's something about you they identify with. So you want to validate that. Validation, validation, validation. And as they speak to you, no judgment, no argument. It doesn't matter if you are right or not. Their perception is their truth. And you help them navigate their truth in a way that's useful to you. Okay, any questions so far? Yes, sir.
Could you just go back to the mono-ideation? You're the first
mono-ideation?
Yeah,
yes.
James raised around.
Very good question. Gentleman asked, what idea, when I talk about mono-ideation, what does it mean? It means for the client, right? I tell the client, we're talking about you and you alone. I'm not going to talk about something else. So let's focus on what is it you want to work on today. Now I have a key question. When a client comes to my office, I have a 4-page contract. And a very important question. They would have a whole bunch of stuff they want to check off, and I have a client who checked off everything, turned the page over and gave me 3 columns and said, oh my God, am I going to be here forever? I said, no, it doesn't work that way. I asked the question afterwards, of all these things, what is your main concern? It's a key question. You're welcome to take that down. What is your main concern? They will come with a plethora of problems. My life is so complicated, and this and that and this and that. I said, no, your life is complex. Complication comes when you throw in a bucket of fear into the complexity of your life. And the fear being that you have no idea how to unravel. And that's okay because I am here to help you. The mono-ideation is here. Sir, what's your name?
Ken.
Ken. Ken, you are here today, and I am here. The idea is you are here today wanting help with a problem, and I am here to help you. All right? I am here to help you. So it is, how many of you have done the book, The Worst is Over? Okay, right. Key question and key idea for the client is, the worst is over for you, sir, because you're here and I am here. A moment ago, you still carry the same bucket of problems, but I wasn't there. Now you have the bucket of problems and I am here. So the worst is over. From this moment onward, it has got to be better. Do not make false promises that I'm going to solve all your problems. Actually, I tell them before they sign the contract, I say, I do not guarantee results. Yes, I do charge a lot of money. And if you get a surgeon ask me, what if I get done in 5 hours? I said, it's still the same price. I said, you cut me open, I have a 2 millimeter tumor instead of a 20 millimeter tumor, you're going to give me a discount? No. So this trance with no induction, the key thing is the trance begins when you start talking to the client. The trance begins with the first phone call. The trance begins when you are explaining your work and soliciting and establishing that connection with your client. The trance begins when the client said, oh yes, he knows what he's talking about. What's your first available appointment? Trance begins. So you don't need all the dingle-dangle stuff. You just need to know your stuff well. And you have to learn how to make that verbal and energy connection with your client so that you establish, as the lawyer would say, beyond a shadow of a doubt. The client has no doubt that you are it to help her get out of her pit. All right, so that being said, with the traditional pieces, sometimes, you know, they expect the trance. I said, well, if you feel better, you can close your eyes. And then sometimes they're scared. And I said, I'm going to give you the key how to get out. And they love that. And they go, oh, I said, well, you're going to close your eyes and you're going to feel this and it's going to be a great virtual journey. And what if I get stuck there? I said, well, you won't get stuck there because I'm going to give you the key how to get out. And they're very excited about that. And what's that key? What's that key? Does anybody know how to give them that key? That key is, if you don't like any of this stuff we're doing here, take a deep breath and open your eyes. Just like that. I said, yes, just like that. But you would want to stay there because it feels so good. Many of the clients would say, I don't want to come back. I said, well, you don't have to go there anymore once we help you sort out your problems because you will perpetually be in a better place. The language you use has to be in the present, in the moment, very clear. Short sentences are easier than trying to trip all over your punctuations. And tell them to stay in the moment. That means your words have to be in the present tense, not we are going to, we're doing it now. We're not going to try to help you, we're doing it now. And so doing that is helpful. All right, any questions so far? All right. Easiest way to do is to show you, is there someone in the audience with an issue that I can help you with who wouldn't mind being videotaped? Come on up. Now, in a moment when I'm showing you stuff, these are techniques that I haven't discussed, but you will also see, have a seat if you like. Be very comfortable, right? So sometimes they come in, I ask them to sit down. What have I just done? Compliance. I just got agreement. I just got permission to work with her, yes? All right? And she's feeling, are you safe with me? Yes. Okay, very good. Now I would like you to please stand up. Now I'm not going to do anything that would embarrass you or hurt you in any way. So what I want you to do is share with us, what is one issue you'd like to work on today? Are you in pain, physical, mental, or what?
I suffer from anxiety, panic attacks.
Okay.
So I just occasionally have random panic attacks.
Okay. How do you bring on a panic attack? What does it feel like?
Tension in the chest, difficulty breathing, a lot of ruminating thoughts.
Okay.
And then wanting to hide.
Okay.
Really wanting to get away.
Okay, so how do you feel right now on an anxiety scale? 10 is a panic attack, 0 is you're sound asleep. Whereabouts are you?
About a 3 or 4.
About 3 or 4. Now take notes, ask me questions, right there. Okay, so if I were to ask you, is it possible for you to bring it up to a 5? Okay, would you be more comfortable sitting down?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, I got my hand behind you just in case. All right, so that's a very important key piece here. All right, so tell us, what does a 5 feel like?
I get more pressure in my chest and in my rib cage. A little bit more difficulty breathing in and out.
For the sake of the audience, let me demonstrate. I can measure her level of anxiety with my dowsing rods. Okay, this could be a dingle-dangles, okay? But this is not for my benefit, but for yours, because I'm going to show you what her energies are like. Thank you. Okay, put your arms right up, okay? Now, her energy field at status quo should be a bubble arm's length. So we're going to see where her energy field ends. Her bubble is this size instead of this size, okay? And that's at a 5, all right? Okay, let's put it to a 6. Can I bring it to a 6?
Okay.
Can you see how it's shortened? Just to demonstrate, take a deep breath and imagine you just struck the lottery. Would that make you happy if you struck that? Okay, all right. Struck the lottery, and let's see where your energy field is, okay? All right, here's the strike the lottery. Her field has gone that big. And so instantly, you have changed your state, right? You went from here to there just because I suggested that you have struck the lottery, okay? That's pretty cool stuff, right? Now I'm going to take you one more level. Turn and face me. How many of you familiar with chakras? Okay. Now I'm going to see other issues in your life to see if there's any blockages in any of your chakras, right? If there's a blockage, my rods will flare. You can open your eyes. Okay, your third eye is blocked. Your throat chakra is blocked. Your heart chakra is blocked. Your solar plexus is blocked. Your second chakra is blocked. And your first chakra is blocked. Young lady, you are totally out of order. All right? Okay.
Sounds about right.
So, all right, so now I want you to straddle the chair. Okay. All right. So what I do is I can use my hands instead of the rods. No dingle-dangles this time. Just digits, okay? Sorry about your hair.
Oh, you're fine.
So I'm going to scan her body. Okay. Is that sensitive?
No.
Okay. Now, she does not have a spas muscle in the back, which means that whatever is bothering you is not deeply embedded in your viscera, in your physical body. Good news, I don't have to whack you.
Good.
Because if somebody has a stress muscle here, the only way to break it fast is to use my energy to punch it out. So maybe I'll use another person. Okay, so now I'm just going to balance your energy. Oops. Let's see, that was what I was. Okay. All right, you can stand up. You said you have panic attacks. Okay. Do you know when it's about to start? Okay, what does it feel like when it's about to start?
Usually my body temperature will go up.
Uh-huh.
I can feel my blood pressure
Okay,
rising.
give me an anxiety scale, 1 to 10.
Right now?
Uh-huh.
It's pretty mild now, 2, 3.
Yes, because we've just done that. All right. Take it to a 6 for me.
Okay.
Okay, are you at a 6? Put your arms up. 6 is behind the elbow. Okay. All right. I'll take a deep breath. And say 3, 2, 1. And smile. Now tell me what number you're at.
2.
Let's check it. No dingle dangles. No need to have induction. What have I just done with her? Thank you. Do you feel good?
Yes, I do.
See?
Thank you.
Give her a round of applause. How simple it looks. Not easy, I said simple. Is there someone else with a real big issue who would like me to punch him or her? Okay, I don't want to. Okay, come on up.
I'm game. There's no shame.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Where's your pain?
It's all throughout the scapula, this area here.
Okay. Let's measure her baseline. Stand over here. Put your arms up. Okay. Exactly. What's your pain level from 0 to 10? 10 is screaming.
It's about a 5.
About 5. Okay, put your arms up. She's about here. Okay. All right. Now I want you to take it up to a 6. Didn't know you were going to learn pain control, huh? Is it a 6?
Mm-hmm.
Put your arms up. That's a 6. Take it to 7. Go ahead.
It doesn't want
It's
to go
okay.
to 7.
Okay, keep it at 6. Let's baseline 6. Put your arms up. Okay. 6 is about at elbow's length. All right. Can you straddle the chair? I know it's difficult with the skirt. Sorry about that. Feel that?
Uh-huh.
Come here, I'll show you. Is it all right if he touches you?
Yes.
You feel that's like a little lump there?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. That's
Are you doing, you're not doing Reiki, you're doing some kind of Chinese?
Qigong, yeah. Okay, he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what this is, translated relationally, this is on her right upper quadrant. Relationally, this is a male person in your life. It's not DNA related, not your father, not your brother, not related to you, but it's a guy. You're carrying his energy. Person could be dead, person could be alive, but you don't want to carry that energy.
No.
Would you like to get it out?
Yes.
Okay, I would make a loud sound, so don't be alarmed. Ready to let him go?
Yes.
1. See if you can find that knot.
Not very smooth.
It's all gone.
Feels
How do you
smoother
feel?
when moving your hand over, I don't feel the knot there
Yeah,
anymore.
there's no knot anymore. So physically that energy is gone. So you may want to work through emotionally releasing it, but don't you feel better already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, stand up and let's show the class where have you done.
Get that monkey off my back.
Yeah, it is literally, put your arms up. Pain level, 0 to 10?
Maybe a 1.
Maybe a 1. Okay, arms up. She's just expanded her energy field. Right? No dingle dangles. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you. Round of applause for our volunteer. Okay. It's difficult to explain Nobody taught me this. As I did a lot of Qigong cultivation, it came to me as I'm working with clients. Now, I have done this work full-time. This is my 13th year of practice. I went from being department chair of a university, jumped off the mountain, went straight into practice, and this is my 13th year. So I did a lot of study and cultivation. What I did is I found the spot. You see, when our energies are stuck, if it's not open and released, it's going to find somewhere to express. It's going to stick in your body somewhere. And so what I did was I used my energy to release her energy. Feel my hand. Earlier it was cold because I was touching the ice water. Now, this was a mild case. I did a demo at the Daytona conference once. When I was done, the audience could see I was sweating. It was hot because whoever that was needed a lot of energy to punch that out. So what I did, and you will continue to feel good the rest of the conference because I've released this knot that stayed there. Now, the energy model of our work is that we believe that when your energies are not flowing right, and it's just like having clogged pipes, something's going to burst, right? If the energy, if you have anger that is stored inside, it will turn into cancer. It will turn into many of the autoimmune illnesses that doctors have no idea where it comes from. And I'll tell you where it comes from. It comes from stuck energies. And why do I know that? Because when I release these stuck energies, people feel better. I worked on a woman who had suffered IBS for 40 years. In the first day, after 3.5 hours, she said, I can feel my gut stop moving. And at the end of the session, she went and ate a whole meal that she hadn't eaten in a long time. I have worked with people who get off drugs. I've worked with physicians to get them off medications. I've worked with a woman who came to my office on crutches, and she walked out carrying her crutches. It is magical, but not magic. I don't want you to be a clone of, you will look terrible in this jacket. No, all right, and I would look terrible in your jacket. So what I want you to do is to create your own niche. Okay, the question is, when we touch people, in this society, there's a big no-touch kind of thing for professionals. I really think it's how you conduct yourself. I work in very close space, and I have a lot of male clients. And I never have any sense of impropriety or them having a transference on me. It's how you conduct yourself. So it is very important. Notice that when she came, because you were going to put your hand on her body, I asked permission. You always ask permission. When I touch people, I'm proper. It's how you conduct yourself. That's why your clothes, what you wear, how you set up your office, has to provide a very safe space for the client. And yes, you can learn how to do this. And people will come to you precisely because they can relate to you.